Thrawn is very sincere when he gives out these bits of praise, and it's not common to get that, but everybody values his praise.
I want a Thrawn compliment.
I don't want him to know about me. He'll overanalyze me, make me feel shitty about myself.
I don't even want knowing about me.
Hello there. You found the Lost Holocron, an ancient artifact of lore and legends from a galaxy far, far away. Each transmission of the Lost Holocron, you will join an episodic discussion of media from the Star Wars universe. We will be your guides. I'm Director Ken, and today I'm joined by Culinary Ken.
Look who's come crawling back.
Dojo Ken.
Oh, that's me? Okay, cool.
And Workshop Ken.
I'm making a machine noise with
We'll add it in post. Today we will be covering the material up to and including Chapter 1 of Dark Force Rising. Culinary Ken, what happened so far?
Oh God, you called me out. I was drinking drinks. Absolutely nothing. We just started this book. Enigmatic Grand Admiral Thrawn has taken control of the Imperial Remnants after the Empire's defeat over Endor 5 years prior. He has established a base on the obscure world of Wayland, taking possession of technology locked away from the late Emperor's storehouse and negotiating the allegiance of clone Dark Jedi Joruus C'Baoth in exchange of the capture of Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa Solo and her unborn twins. Stuart, what happened in Chapter 1?
Who's Stuart?
Oh, I'm sorry. Dojo Ken.
All right. In the first chapter, we have Grand Admiral Thrawn holds a blockade over Myrkr, while General Covell coordinates an instructive assault on smuggling Lord Talon Karrde's already evacuated base. Having seen the kind of art Karrde collects, Thrawn correctly induces that Karrde is surveilling the operation for information. Aboard the Wild Card, Mara Jade senses danger and errantly prepares the ship for departure. Vindicated moments later as an interdictor drops out of hyperspace. They escape before the gravity well generator powers up, but Mara feels uneasy about her premonition, fearing another imminent cycle of self-destructivism. Thrawn is intrigued by the implications of the escape, noting it for later. He leaves orders for Covell to command troops for reassignment to Mount Tantus on Wayland. Captain Palaeon reports on Joruus C'Baoth's impetuously frequent contact. He is impatient for the delivery of the promised Skywalkers to Jormark. He smolders over his unremembered past. All that matters to him is his connection to and dominion over the Force. This was quite a beefy introduction to the second book.
Yep.
We were just instantly thrown right into everything.
Yeah, on my e-reader, I opened it up and it was like 45 minutes to read this chapter. And I was like, hold on, did I get a dud copy? There's several chapters in one that it's not like marking out the chapters correctly. But no, that was quite a lot of information.
Yeah,
it was.
Not how long the audiobook chapter was too.
Yeah, mine was about 37 minutes to listen to it.
Yeah.
It probably took me about that long to read it.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we are, right back on the Chimera. I did not think he was immediately heading back to get revenge on Talon Karrde.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think so either. But yeah, apparently it's Sunday.
Yeah, we did say it's Sunday for Thrawn now. Yeah, I really liked seeing. I have been absolutely tickled by the perfect Imperial formations throughout this whole journey, and I loved seeing the other side of it.
Yeah.
How they had the one that was trailing off, and they were like, "Just stay back there, just don't bother."
Like that, he was like, formation coherence is good during an exercise, but right now, just leave him.
Yeah. Dude, you're making us look bad.
Yeah.
There's the difference between the playground assault and the practical assault. It's like you got to keep your front line going when it's game day.
Yeah.
Although it happened, we were excited about this in the first book, but it didn't happen in the first book. It happened in the second book. They got stuck in that grass.
That grass is going to come back with all the damage that it's done to the feet of their walkers.
Yeah.
These little fuzzy bears started attacking us, and they just obliterated everything.
I don't know, man. I kind of get him staying and watching, but like, I don't know. If someone like Thrawn was after you, I just go to the deepest part of space. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be in the asteroids watching nearby.
Yeah.
I'm just like gone. Like, I'm over.
Yeah, being after you at that point, it's like you gotta disappear.
Yeah, it's quite a gamble that he was playing out there, and if it wasn't for Mara, they would have been caught.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I do have a theory.
All
Why
right.
this book is called Dark Force Rising.
Right.
Number one is Heir to the Empire, and we believe that's a reference to Leia being the heir to Dark Vader's empire.
Right.
She's the Malar.
Dark Force Rising, I'm pretty sure Mara Jade we know she's Force sensitive. More than likely a Sith user who has repressed her Force abilities to a degree. And that's what I believe Joruus mentioned in his little bit at the end of this, that there was a brief blip of something in the Force, like someone had quickly blinked on, and I think it's Mara. And I think with her Force powers turning back on, it's also an issue of the dark side of the Force corrupts you. So it's something that she has issues with, and that is going to be the Dark Force rising in her.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
Oh, so you're saying she's going to get even more insufferable?
I think she might be more unstable.
I like this theory a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there are no, like, I mean, I don't know a lot about Legends, but I assume there's no known Sith running around still.
Not at the moment, I don't
I don't
think.
think so.
Jedi are rare in itself, which is
Yeah.
why Joruus really wants Luke, Leia, and the twins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I still don't understand what his plan is. He just wants to make a school or something. I don't know.
He likes people.
I feel like he could just talk to them. Then why do they have to be delivered? I feel like Luke, and we know it, would be thrilled to talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wants to brainwash them, and I don't know what happens after brainwashing. I'm not really sure what. Step 3, power.
I think is something a little frustrating about how Joruus is written, because I don't think his goals are quite clear.
Well, actually, I quite liked this chapter. It was the first time we saw inside his mind.
Yes.
And he is quite unstable. He seems to be... He didn't even remember that Luke was going to be delivered to him. He was just like, I'm supposed to be waiting here for someone.
Right.
But he kind of like... I don't know. He feels a little bit like those politicians that are kind of going in the... Yeah.
Oh.
Just stumbling at the top and like, well, I still have power. So that I like that. I like how that feels. But I'm not really sure where I'm going or what I've done.
Although, he did reference a cool-ass story that I want to hear of him fighting the Emperor's... What he briefly mentioned, he's like, I had a badass fight with some sort of guard. Can't even remember it at this point. That was a Tuesday for me.
Yeah, it made it feel a little bit like Kung Fu Panda, of like, and we had this epic fight that I can't quite remember, but it was legendary.
So do you think it's like a showing it the...
I don't know. Is he just getting old?
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a clone of a really old guy, you know.
Yeah.
I'm still confused how that works, because he's like, did they flash age him? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's unclear at this point. And, it could just be that he's going senile from being an old person, or there's something to do with his cloniness that was perhaps referenced back in the first book.
It was brought up that clones become more unstable as they age.
Yeah.
It's like regular people.
Yeah.
He even mentioned that even when he tries to recall his earlier life, it doesn't feel like he experienced it. It was more like he was told it through a history book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So it might become more that he is not the original,
Yeah.
which I think he'd be upset about.
Yeah.
Well, I think that might add to his feelings that like the past doesn't really matter,
Mm.
and it's lost to the mists of time. And whether it was actually him or just something dictated to him, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is this point moving forwards. And you need the past to correct for the future, but yeah, he's like well into his power trip that he doesn't really care at this point.
Do you think one reason why he wants the twins is because maybe he might have an idea of how to do like the essence transfer that Palpatine does into like the new clone bodies? He maybe wants to transfer himself into like one of the
like X-Men Apocalypse
twins or something.
Oh, that brings up a good point of like, if he does do an essence transfer, is he still the forgetful old man, or is he going to have like revitalized memories from his essence?
And will his abs get even more shredded?
That's how you can tell if Joruus is body hopping or not. If somebody is slowly getting abs, they're like, wait a minute. Lift your shirt up.
Yeah. I liked getting to see his perspective. If I'm recalling correctly, this was the first time.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
And we
weren't we on his perspective when he was controlling all the battle in the first book?
No, that was Peleon. Peleon was looking from the outside, and he was like, "Oh, this is scary. He really is a puppet master that's crawling inside these people's skulls."
Yeah.
I like how, and then in this book, he's like, "Guys, I'm bored of doing this."
But I don't want to do it. It's so hard. It was interesting how it mentioned how much effort it was for him, and how it was like, "Oh, this is tiring." But I really want a challenge to like brainwash people. I was like, are you looking for a challenge, or are you looking for something easy? Because you've got a challenge that clearly you're not happy being tied out by this, but does he want to be tied out by epic battles between other Jedi and these brainwashing efforts, or what's going on there? What do you really want, man?
The way he's communicating with the Chimera reminds me of some clients I have.
Can we get a little bit more of that without breaking any confidentiality? Or?
No, it's just unprofessional. I'm already towing the line. But,
Speaking of unprofessional, Talon Karrde's dogs, way out of line in this chapter. Don't know what was up with them. They're very upset.
Yeah.
I'm joking. It was because he flicked on and they eat. So, again, this going back to the Asalamiri, they exude the Force, which is why Void Skerns love to snack on them. And as a response to that, they also have a shield against the Force.
Yeah.
Fucking man.
Yeah, okay. So they're trying to look for things in the Force, and she flips on for a moment. Do you think that like she was, and seems like she's having some sort of like withdrawal, or it really seemed like schizophrenia actually. Like she has these destructive cycles that she's not in control of, that she just kind of burns all her bridges and has to get out of there. Which it said she was like a swoop girl or something, like walking around with those boards going round 2, and then was like an enforcer for somebody else. And yeah, this time like she's got power and resources that she wants control of, but she was using those Asalamiri to medicate away from the Force, and now she's going to have Force schizophrenia again. That's quite scary for her, actually.
it is. I'm really curious to see where this goes, because this is the first instance I can think of where the Force has been some kind of torture, or some kind of burden. Because typically it's like a form of enlightenment for light side, and then dark side, it's like the power up, yay.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
most people with the dark side of the Force seem, in generally, just super unstable, angry people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think for Mara Jade, when you are the secret assassin for the Emperor, you have the outlet and resources to go buck wild and just lose your fucking mind with the dark side of the Force.
Yeah.
When
Right.
you're trying to lay low and try to rebuild everything, you can't just keep going fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Which I think is why she referenced, like, oh, I have the resources now to go nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, we did talk the last time about how the Inquisitors seem to have like all these resources at their disposal, but Mara's Emperor's Hand position was more gritty, like just use every paperclip you can to put holes in this guy's neck until you get your job done. But her saying like, oh yeah, we've got all these resources now that I can actually go out and fulfill my tasks. Like maybe she is used to having, at least requesting care packages to help her with her missions.
You know what? What if Palpatine's still alive and he's the voices?
Well,
that sounds like a Star Wars thing.
well.
Oh no.
The Dark Empire. Oh, I still can't remember. I don't think we looked it up.
Oh, you know what? And if it's a clone of Palpatine and it's degraded, then it's going to be all kinds of crazy voices in her head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. The original Dark Empire trilogy started in December of 1991 and ran through 1992, possibly the further. Let's see. Star Wars Empire's End is the last one of that one, which finished in 1995. So there was a 5-year run of comics called The Dark Empire. It ended up being compiled into a trilogy. And in this, the story is that, Palpatine comes back into clone bodies and we talked about it before, that he's in the center of the galaxy expanding outwards, trying to take back the Empire or take back galactic territory. And now that I know this, possibly Timothy Zahn was told in a back room, by the way, this is another story that we've got going on. So it does kind of set up Thrawn to be taking things from the outside to then hand back to the Emperor as he steps back into power. So that's now my new headcanon for...
Guess what, Kyle? I have a theory too.
Great.
So maybe Kyle's right that the Emperor coming back into his, fully formed body is trying to communicate with her, still trying to reach out and talk to her in some way.
Man, I would hate having Palpatine butt dialing me like that.
Unrelated to the podcast. Did any of you guys watch Ninjago?
No.
There's a scene in one of them. It may have been the movie, but one of the main characters, their dad is the evil force, and he does he butt dials him. And he's like eating cereal, and he's just like, "Hello, who is this?"
Oh, I remember that in the trailer for the movie. That was hilarious. Where's our Lego Bionicle movie?
I don't know.
Wasn't there several?
Well, like a Lego movie style one.
Did they ever save the All American Rejects?
I can only assume they did. There's a fun comment that Thrawn makes about Karrde in this chapter, where Pelion's like, "No way, he's behind the asteroid," and then Thrawn's just like, "I've seen his taste in art. He's behind the asteroid."
Some of they just don't get it. I would love What else would be for Karrde? Why does he have pictures of Waluigi?
That makes me curious. Like, what is it that he saw in his art that made him value more information than what was that? He doesn't value resources; he values information.
Yes, information above all.
It was
Yeah.
a painting of his ship hiding behind asteroids.
He's like, this is my vision board, guys.
It's just escape plan B.
Most of his art is just like text. It's just writing.
It's all his next moves and his game plans and everything.
It's like paper mache or like that art that's just like clipped out words that's on everything, and so it's just got all these words spelling out just weird stuff into art on the wall. But yeah, speaking of Thrawn being on the money, last time I always have this like flashback to Kyle going, well, he's lying if he doesn't want power.
Yeah.
And we got it in this chapter that he does want power. He's going to show Thrawn the kind of power that he wants. And, we were right when we said that everybody's power is different. And, it's just about finding out how that person defines power. And I think that's the thing that Thrawn is underestimating or like has a bit of a blind spot for, is like, what is power to this person?
So he has a narrow definition of power.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. He's like, my power is better than your power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlimited power.
Yeah. I liked his little moment with Pelion in this chapter, where he's like, very good job. Very good, Captain. Very good indeed. And then it says Pelion felt a touch of warmth on his cheeks, and I was like, oh, that's cute. But yeah, their relationship's moving forward. He's learning.
I interpreted that as a firm slap on the ass as he walked out of the room. Attaboy.
Yeah. But no, I actually do like seeing their relationship develop like that.
Yeah.
It's always nice when villains are humanized.
Yes. Yeah, they need friends too.
Like, I'm reading the current Thrawn trilogy while we read this one as well, the Disney one, and seeing the difference in the characterization and like what is the through line between these two characters, how did it evolve, and that's pretty consistent, is that Thrawn is very sincere when he gives out these bits of praise, and it's not common to get that, but everybody values his praise.
I want a Thrawn compliment.
I don't want him to know about me. He'll overanalyze me, make me feel shitty about myself.
Knowing about me.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to overcook that chicken.
Okay, Dad.
Damn it, Culinary Ken. How could you?
No one's perfect. Yeah, no, nothing about any other good guys just yet. This was a real bad guy catch-up kind of story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I liked the way this chapter moved at the same time too, because the perspective shifts were very motivated. Like they all flowed right into each other.
Yeah.
And then it was really just when we got to C'Baoth that I felt there was kind of like a break in it, but it felt like a justified break.
I missed that. When I was listening to it, I didn't realize who was C'Baoth. I think this was a really good way to start the book, because I think it's good to start by setting up what the threats are instead of where the heroes are. And I mean, it picks up immediately on events that happen after events in the last chapters in the previous book. And then it's also nice to see C'Baoth.
And
I do want more hear from him for the first time. Yeah. I think there was a lot of very good setup in this chapter.
Yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
first book also started from Pelion's perspective, as
Yeah.
they had the skirmish of Obraskai, and he was introduced, and he had that Frovish ale. Was it Frovish ale?
Hmm.
He had some sort of drink. He hasn't had any more drinks since that first chapter.
Yeah.
Dehydrated severely.
It makes sense though too, because I mean, if you define the protagonist as the person making the action happen in the story, that's very much Thrawn and Pelion. Like
Yeah.
all of this is happening because of them, and everyone
Yeah.
else is kind of just reacting to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, like, we got a little bit of the end of the last book was Han and Lando finding out that there was a Grand Admiral to be chasing after, and so I'm looking forward to more of that initiative being taken by the heroes in this time around.
Yes, yeah, that's going to be very exciting to see.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what the New Republic thinks of as important.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, where are their priorities?
Yeah. True.
Because it sounds like they've done a lot, the Imperials. So I feel like we're in a position that like they can no longer ignore that the Imperials are out there, because they're still hitting with these like multiple coordinated things with C'Baoth, and after the raid on Sluis Van, like that's got to be right in the center of public consciousness now.
Yeah. And I feel like Thrawn's going to learn about the potential coup and Akbar getting arrested. And he's going to use that to his advantage to kind of like drive a wedge between them.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
I didn't even think about anything Thrawn could do with that, because I thought of that as so far removed. But no, you're right.
He's going to find out about. I mean, he has to. He knows everything, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I think in the chapter it mentioned that it's still going to take Skywalker a few weeks to get to Jormok,
Right.
because we instigated political unrest on Coruscant.
Oh, did they directly say that?
Yeah.
I completely glazed over that. That's crazy.
So I feel like that's possibly one of the things that they're also using to reduce the impact of their raid on Sluis Van. Like they disseminated that information about Akbar. We're at the right point that they're now looking at as an internal problem rather than, oh, we've been attacked by Imperials and stuff is going wrong.
Right. Do you guys remember in the previous book there was a mention of, I think it was like the New Republic's communications being broken into?
Yeah.
Or some kind of system?
Because the Han was contacted and they were using code language.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes me wonder if these guys are the ones that broke in and they're kind of using it to spread divisive propaganda amongst the New Republic.
What if Phasma is just a plant?
That's another possibility.
Yeah. I doubt that, because apparently he's been there since the
true. Yeah.
Was it the many Bothans died to bring us this thing? That's all him. So
yeah,
I feel like he's a ride or die kind of like, well, we sacrificed many of our people to make sure this got through, and that's why he's pushing so hard in the council.
Maybe he's just really bitter about that, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go see what Thrawn can do for me.
Winter's behind this.
Winter's behind it.
Yeah, it's all Winter. It all comes back to her.
That's why we haven't heard from her for the last.
He's the real mastermind behind everything.
Yeah,
Thrawn's getting all his information from Winter.
Yeah,
everything. She is Thrawn's master.
Yeah.
Actually, the one character that we haven't talked about again is Paige.
What if Paige has been in every chapter?
What if the unremarkable thing just in the corner?
Yeah. Paige is omnipresent.
He's been in Luke's X-Wing behind him the whole time.
It's the pastor from that one planet in that one chapter. The one that went horribly wrong for us because every time we recorded it, something bad happened.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy to jump right in, and then also for just all these quick details here and there to start filling in so much more of the picture than we had in the first book. I mean, this chapter
yeah.
really sets things up on multiple levels the more we dig into it.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like, it's the first chapter, got to get everything ready.
Yeah. I was going to
Putting
ask
all
you
the
guys,
pieces on
like,
the
how do
board.
you feel about sequels? Or, like, usually the book 2 of a trilogy, they say is quite, has a lot of slack in it because it needs to set up everything for the third book where all the payoffs are being made.
Mhm.
And so it can, like, lack a bit of tension because there's too much info dumping. But I feel like this is, like,
Yeah.
you know, given that it sets up everything in this first chapter for the previous book and everything that's going, well, we don't know yet, but, like, I'm assuming that there's a lot of information here that is springboarding from the first book into the troubles of this book, of the plot of this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes sequels are better.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I love that movie so much.
Empire Strikes Back.
Arguable.
I know.
I'm Team A New Hope.
I know, but I feel like Empire Strikes Back was really exciting.
Yeah, no, it did. It made the universe feel a bit more alive.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, a bit more lived in.
Mm.
The characters' personalities and dynamics really came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a great sequel.
I really like Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Destiny 2. I know most people will be like,
Shrek 2
one was better, but I'm like,
Shrek 2. Shrek 2 actually is a big improvement.
You know,
on the first.
honestly,
yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, there's a good YouTube video that talked about what makes a good sequel, and Shrek 2 was their example of, like, this is why everything is better, because
As it should.
yeah, it doesn't change anything about the first thing. It gives more context to what did happen in the first book and builds on the logical progressions of what everything that was set up there. And a perfect sequel is different from a perfect movie.
Mm-hmm.
And all the ones that you mentioned, Terminator 2, Empire Strikes Back, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
That all these things don't go back and erase what happened in the first one, unlike The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Too real, guys.
Yeah, it's a bit too tough. This is Legends.
Yeah.
We're staying Legends.
So it's all about, like, pulling out what is the logical progression from what was there in the original material, and this does that for the previous book. I feel like.
Yeah, I absolutely feel like it's already doing that. Just one chapter. Now let's see if we can keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be the challenge.
Yeah.
What are you guys hoping from this book? What do you want? What do you demand? What do the fans need?
I want more. I want more from Mara. I want to see her, like, actually, like, blossom or whatever and become, like, crazy badass. I want to see her as, like, her badass assassin.
I'd like to, like Kyle said, I'd like the Dark Force to rise out of her.
Yeah.
And maybe she tries on that Dark Assassin thing and it goes well, but it's not what she needs anymore. And
maybe she wants more, power.
No.
Her version of power. Maybe she wants to become a Sith Lord. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like we need to see her trying on her hats. We need. I don't necessarily think there needs to be a Dark Night of the Soul for her, but me and my wife have this running joke that every good story, is about hubris. And if there's no hubris in the story,
you have no drama.
You've got no drama.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to try her hat on again and, show us why she is a threat, but then also have her have some emotional dysregulation with that, or, that's not actually the thing that she wants, that she recognizes that she was the puppet in that role and that she needs her own autonomy and make her own decisions and possibly go see a therapist.
Yeah. I want to see more of the Force and less of the Assault Miri, which keeps us from seeing the Force.
Right? Yeah.
Like, I want this book to get weird, but I'm also really excited to dig into Joruus C'Baoth.
Actually, that was going to be my answer. as well as like more from C'Baoth. And I feel like, we're starting to get this tension of like, what is the Force with him?
Yep.
And I want that to be dug into.
Yeah. Now, how about you, Culinary Ken?
I want clone shenanigans. I want more misspelled names.
You think we're going to find more clone Jedi elsewhere in the universe?
100%. I think they're just kind of floating around now.
I actually like that idea that the Clone Wars was this. It was just clone Jedi that were just unleashed upon the universe that were quite unstable.
Yes.
And that's why...
That was the Clone Wars we deserved.
I like this idea too. I like the official idea as well, but this is a cool alternative take on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's going to be both.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's just the idea of the Clone War is just like, I feel like if you can make massive amounts of clones, it's a really underused ability in the Star Wars. And it was only used for wars.
I mean, that's why I feel like clone Jedi, if it's a slow technology that you're cloning these, superheroes basically, and then setting them to do devastating things throughout the universe or throughout the galaxy, and then only other superheroes can go fight them, that, as we see in, the modern Marvel movies, I guess, that the people who are most disgruntled are like the people that have to pick up the mess after them. Like, yeah, they get to throw each other through buildings, but like that causes everyday people just a huge amount of strife. And, the government and then eventually the people are the ones paying for that in the end.
Oh, man. Perfect setup for Palpatine to step in.
I was reading something recently. It's like, would you rather live in Gotham or Metropolis? The argument was like, yeah, Gotham, there's a lot of like everyday crimes happening pretty consistently, robberies and violence in the streets and stuff like that. But at least 2 times a year, Metropolis gets completely destroyed and then rebuilt because Superman is fighting Doomsday and smashing through every building.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I feel like Superman, the way he should be, is generally good at keeping collateral damage to a minimum.
Superman, sure, but Doomsday,
we can think. Oh, true. Yeah. Yeah.
Lex Luthor. Oh, it's a mess of a rogues gallery.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back a little bit, I feel like George Lucas did a good job of setting up the rise of the Empire, in that there was a republic, and why would people choose an empire over democracy? And in the way that we got the Clone Wars with the like secession movement from the Confederacy of Independent Systems, that was quite, I feel like, a natural way to push the transition to empire. That I feel like wouldn't quite have been as strong if it was these rogue Jedi that would just kind of like
definitely
up all over the place.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
But it would definitely paint the fall of the Jedi and why people hate the Jedi more than what we get in canon.
Yeah.
Although, I would have liked to see more of like that, the public seeing the Jedi as warmongers. I feel like that's the only thing that's kind of missing from current canon.
It's covered in the Clone Wars. In the arc where Ahsoka has her falling out with the Order, there are people protesting outside the Jedi Temple. Yeah. But we could use more.
Yeah.
We could see it dramatized instead of just window dressing.
Right.
Although actually it was kind of dramatized through Barriss in that arc. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Something else that just came to mind, it's like if the Jedi are already fighting like clone evil Jedi, it would have been kind of difficult for like a purge type situation, because they're already fighting him, and they're getting losses on both sides. So it doesn't really make sense for some kind of like overpowering of the good Jedi. And then if for some reason they did eliminate all the good Jedi, then you'd have all these other rogue Jedi still floating around everywhere. And it was just kind of like, okay, Darth Vader, go clean them up and kill all those, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you could probably see something happening where it's coming to the twilight of the war, and people are just so fed up, and there's a complete collapse of distinction between the Jedi and the clone Jedi, and just the people of the forming empire are just like, okay, we're sick of this. We're just going to shoot anybody with a lightsaber.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, I was just thinking about it. Were we given an explanation of why C'Baoth is there?
Where, like, you mean why Thrawn?
Why clone C'Baoth is around? Because they were like, oh, he is a clone because the real one died on the ship explosion. So this one's obviously a clone. So were we given an explanation of why?
Why he was originally cloned, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
I wonder if he's a prototype.
He's a prototype?
Yeah, I mean, like, there was prototype technology in Mount Tantus that Thrawn was after. So what if he is also a prototype of sorts?
Is that what's in Mount Tantus?
A bunch of prototypes?
Yeah.
Was he, hear me out, was he the thing that he fought? Joruus C'Baoth mentioned that he has a vague memory of fighting a guard. And
Oh, he fought the Prime Joruus.
no, not the Prime.
Oh.
I
that
think,
would be fun too.
Yeah, that would be fun. But I think
another clone?
Yeah, another clone of him that he is a prototype of. And they keep making newer, better ones. And you can tell if you're succeeding because the originals are killing the previous generation.
Oh, you mean like an incredible situation where they're just building these ball robots and sending wave after heroes after them.
Wave after wave.
They're
similar.
They're just
yeah
improving.
So yeah, so basically, like, let's say the Emperor's working on clones. And what he's doing is every so often he will put out a clone of a Jedi. And Joruus number 7 came out, and to see if they're making better clones or not, they sent him to go fight Joruus number 6.
Well, okay, so remember when we first meet Joruus, he says he killed a Dark Jedi and took over, right?
Right, because and now so he's the one guarding the thing.
Yeah.
He was guarding the stash. What if that is the cycle
right.
of the clones of Joruus?
Oh.
So we might see another Joruus later in this series?
Or, I mean, maybe. Possibly. It might be like a scene in one of those games where, like, we're going to walk into a room and there's going to be test tubes of half-formed Joruuses.
Gross.
Are we going to have, like, different ones? Like, is there going to be, like, a cowboy one and then, like, like a chef? The culinary...
Yeah. Chef Joruus.
I don't know. Because, I don't know, it is weird that he's there. Like, we don't... And I'm assuming, this is just stepping outside the story and thinking our story starts to work, I don't think Joruus is going to survive this chapter, this book.
Oh.
I think the first story set up everything. I think the second one, they're going to try to get to Thrawn, but Joruus is going to be in the way. And Joruus is going to get taken out. I don't think he's going to make it through this. And then I think the third one is the fall of Thrawn.
That would make sense with, like, we're suddenly getting inside his head in this book,
right,
to set up his downfall. And then that's going to be Luke's new mentor that is being cut for some reason. And he needs to grow beyond that until the final challenge of the last book, like you say, is Thrawn.
Yeah.
God damn it, I'm so excited for the rest of this book now.
These are all just theories.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we have so many directions we could go off.
Right, yeah.
And they're all cool.
I'm just imagining, like, Pokemon Soul Silver, when you get to the end and you realize that you have to fight you from the first game.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Well, the other thing that I thought was interesting is that Joruus doesn't know that he's a clone. He doesn't seem to realize that he is one.
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
And he doesn't, like we mentioned at the very beginning, like he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the past.
Right.
He doesn't realize that he's a clone. He's just megalomaniac. What am I trying to say?
Megalomaniacal.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what if that was programmed into
Never
him?
mind.
Mm.
Megamind. Megamind Joruus
Honestly,
C'Baoth.
I love the scene from the end of that movie where everyone's like cheering and trying to like gather around him, and he pulls a gun out and he's like, "Get back, you heathens!" Megamind is an underrated film.
It was
Very underrated.
Totally.
It was great.
Yeah.
We saw that in the theater
Oh, lucky.
a long ass time ago.
Yeah.
I like this little note here as well that I'm assuming that Tim, you wrote this, is the Thrawn has been making a big deal about the stupid creatures for a couple of months now. It's just something that's in the company-wide emails.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the commander saying that, and he was clearly frustrated about it. And I was like, "Yeah, Thrawn totally sends those company-wide emails."
Oh man, we should make a sample of things that come up in this email.
Yeah.
Did they mention something about fuzzy things in the trees of the? What were they? What
Long furry animals.
Hmm.
And those were the Yao-Salamiri? I thought they were
Poison snakes, right?
For some reason, they keep saying fuzzy for them.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're furry.
Yeah.
Well, cool. When I look at photos, hang on. Have I even looking?
I know. It's like,
These don't look fuzzy at all.
are they squirrels? Are they lizards? What the hell are they?
They're squizzards.
Squizzards. This whole
I mean,
Oh,
I
they
can
kinda have-
imagine a reptile with
the
fur.
lizard joke has been in vain.
I see one piece of artwork where it kind of has like a mohawk running down its back, but like that's
Hell
one,
yeah.
That's one piece of artwork.
I like a Salamiri now.
Bring it back. I want more of them.
Yeah.
There's a sick photo of Thrawn with wearing a hoodie, and there's a Yao-Salamiri in the hood.
Please link it.
Okay. But yeah, all the artwork I'm seeing, they are not fuzzy, so I was confused by that.
Fur is so hard
Apparently,
to
it's
draw.
some of the
though.
artists because they've been described as fuzzy for a while.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
That's
Aww.
cute.
That's adorable.
That does seem like the thing you'd want to do. You'd want it like you want like a baby born and it's strapped to your back.
Yeah.
Why are both of its eyes on the same side?
I think it has
Or
four
does it have two
eyes.
on the
Four
other side?
eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, what a cute photo.
But wait, I thought they had to live on the trees, like they were stuck in the branches.
Yeah, they had to make these like mechanical backpacks that give them nutrient supplies. But
Me too.
I don't know. This is just fan art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
And that's the end of the episode. Tim, sign us off.
Any final thoughts?
What actor do you want to see in Star Wars?
That honestly is a really good question. Walton Goggins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I want to see him in Star Wars.
I know he's passed, so it's not going to happen, but Michael Clark Duncan, I think, would have been great.
Oh, yeah. Stuart, how about you? You got any actors you want to see in Star Wars?
No, I have a hard time remembering my own name, so
Yeah.
actors' names. Oh, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, huh?
Yeah. I do not pay attention really to actors and directors and all that kind of stuff. I'm just watch what's the thing and forget as soon as they're out.
That's so pure. I love it.
Object Provenance.
All right, I'm very excited for the rest of this book. Lots of good things set up in this chapter. Lots of cool potential paths.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into it next time. This has been The Lost Holocron. You can find transcripts, links to discussions, and more at our website, lostholocron.com. While you're there, you can learn how you can support the creation of future episodes. Read on, and we will be waiting for you in the next transmission. We would be honored if you would join us.